Welcome once again to ICT lectures. Now, if you're a beginner in databases, we are going to actually learn how to create databases within MySQL and, of course, also to add a table. We're also going to learn how to populate a given table and how to link the different tables. So stay tuned till the end of this particular lesson so that you have a chance to learn about how to create a new database from scratch using MySQL and, of course, how to use the same MySQL to create tables. So happy learning.
Hi Lana, hello and welcome once again to Lana's Coach. So we are going to proceed from a previous video where we saw how to install the MySQL shell. Of course, we also installed the MySQL server and also we installed a MySQL Workbench, right? So I think the best way to proceed is actually to have a look at the previous video of how we install this particular MySQL. So I've just shared the link within the description so that at least you install your own MySQL server and then you proceed to creating these particular tables and database that you want to see. So there are a number of things that we did. I don't want to actually go back. So just have a look at that particular video and then you proceed from where we are. Now, as you can see, I've already launched my MySQL shell. So if you like using it, you can always proceed using that. Personally, since we had connected our path to using the CMD, so I'll just proceed and launch the CMD, right? So just run it as an admin. I like using it because I've already we already connected the path, right? You already connected the path to the MySQL using the variables, right? The environment variables. So just look at the previous video. So here we are. So let me just maximize it, right? So from here I'll just launch the MySQL. I'll just log into my MySQL account. So that is the root. Then the password is so just have my password, right? So there we are. So I've already connected to the MySQL. So let's just see whether we have any database. So show data databases, if then semicolon. So these are the only available databases, right? So this video is specifically for to enable us understand how to create a database and also how to create a table, right? So we are just going to have a universe discourse of already established a platform. This is the Learner's Coach. So I'll create a database and name it Learner's Coach, right? So I'll just go and have create database and then you give it the name that you want. So I'll name it Learner's Coach, right? Remember to have the semicolon at the end, right? Enter. So we have already created this particular database. So let's just see whether we have it. So as you can see, it appears as one of the databases that we have already created. So it's normally as simple as that. So if you want to use it, you simply use that particular database. We actually use Learner's Coach, right? So database has changed. So the next step is actually to create the various tables or entities within this particular database. So ideally, since this is an online education platform, right? So I'll look at how maybe we can have the manuals or the entities. So the first entity that we're going to create is actually the student. Yeah, so we have students who normally use our platform. So the best approach is actually to have a practical example. So we are going to create a table and name it student. So create table, name it student. So that's going to be our first entity or table, right? Now, ideally, for us to capture whatever is going to appear within this particular table or the structure, we need to create the attributes, right? So like a normal student will have what we call maybe the student ID and so on, right? So the next thing here is to just capture the student ID. So I'll have student ID, as you can see. So this will be in form of an integer data type, right? So you have to specify that, then just have a comma. Then the next thing that you're going to have, ideally a student needs to have a name, right? So we'll just have the first name, right? First name. Then this is a varying character, right? So we're going to give it a varchar, maybe give it 255 maximum, right? So we also move to the next. We can also give it the surname of the student, right? The student has the surname, also the varying character there, 8255, right? Any other thing that you can give the student? Of course, maybe let's have the age of the student. You can capture the age of the student. This is an integer, right? So integer. Maybe finally you can give you can capture the gender of the student, right? Sorry, let's have it as a var, just for demonstration purposes, right? So this is going to be our last attribute that you're going to append to this particular table. So that means we are just going to have some two columns. Remember the closing column, and then you finally have the semicolon, then enter, right? So we have created, of course we started by creating the table, we created the database. We gave it the name learners coach. Within the database we have created one table and we have named it student, and within student we have created additional attributes, though we haven't populated this particular record. So just to look at the structure, we can use the describe student. Let's just have student and see the structure, right? As you can see, we have the structure, and ideally it shows us the field, the type, the null values, the key, and of course others, right? So what we have done is that we have just displayed the structure of the table. So there's nothing inside this particular table. So in our next video, we are going to see how to create or populate ideally these various fields, right? So maybe to add on to this, we can also create another different entity. So student, you can also have courses, right? So this one I'll do on the side so that at least we shorten this particular video, right? So in the next video, I shall have created an additional entity or table known as courses, so that at least we have two tables, student and courses, and then see how we can be able to query this particular database in future. So if you are joining us for the very first time, always feel free to subscribe to our channel, and if you have any query or suggestion, always feel free to comment. So I've already shared the previous video that you must watch before you actually proceed to looking at this particular video. So let's meet at the next video where you're going to see how to populate the various fields within a table. All right, thanks.